This is the KRUI News at Noon, brought to you in part by the Daily Iowan. This is KRUI, Iowa City.
It is noon in Iowa City. The temperature is 55 degrees, and for KRUI News, I'm Frank Rotella.
And I'm Greta Meyle. Just ahead on today's newscast, a militant Islamic group strikes again in Nigeria.
And Ebola takes a toll close by. Find out where and if you're at risk.
And want to avoid the frustration of switching phones? We have Apple's solution coming up.
A suicide bomber disguised as a student set off an explosive outside of a northern Nigerian school this morning, killing at least 47 people and injuring close to 80 more. The explosion happened as students were gathered to hear morning announcements, but it isn't clear yet just how many of the victims were students. While no one has claimed responsibility for the attack yet, the militant Islamic group Boko Haram is believed to be responsible. Boko Haram has carried out several terrorist attacks, including other suicide bombings and abducting women and girls. Officials believe the school was targeted for teaching a Western-influenced curriculum.
Now here's something you haven't wanted to hear. Ebola is going local. One Iowan is being closely monitored for symptoms of the virus after being quarantined late last week. This person is among 13 individuals who recently returned from West African countries. 12 of the individuals were determined to be at low risk of exposure and were not quarantined. State health officials say until symptoms are found, the one identified or unidentified person poses no risk to the public.
The University of Iowa's first residence hall turns 100 this week. That first residence hall ever built is KRUI Hall, which was built in 1914 to house 150 female students. The hall became co-ed in the 70s, and today it houses 618 students. It was named after the Couriers, a couple that was extremely involved as professional staff at the university. So if you'd like to celebrate the 100th anniversary, events are going on all week until Thursday. Tonight, a fireside chat will be held at 7 p.m. featuring historians, former staff, and family members of the Couriers.
A pregnant dog being flown to an animal rescue organization sent many Iowa officials on a frantic search over the weekend. Ava, a black Labrador, was being flown to Rough Life Rescue in Wisconsin so she could give birth and find a new home. But after stopping at an Iowa airport, she escaped from her harness and ran off. Crews searched overnight and found Ava in a garage in Winterset, Iowa, but she was not alone. She gave birth to 9 puppies. Rescuers said her spot in a Wisconsin foster home has been lost. She is currently staying in Able, Iowa, until the puppies grow old enough to find a new home.
Kids are often the last ones to volunteer to help with a load of laundry, and a new study finds that they might be justified. A study published in the journal Pediatrics finds that single-load laundry detergent packets can pose a risk to young children. The packets consist of concentrated detergent in a plastic coating that dissolves in water, and they were ingested by nearly 17,000 children, many under the age of 3, from 2012 to the end of 2013. 2 children died as a result, with others experiencing symptoms like coughing or vomiting. Researchers say the bright colors of the liquid and the shape of the packets make them resemble candy or teething toys.
If you've ever switched from an iPhone to a non-iPhone and became frustrated when you missed tens or possibly hundreds of text messages, Apple now has a tool for you. The problem stems from Apple's iMessage service, which is tethered to a user's phone number. Even after switching to a non-Apple device, the service continues to route texts through iMessage, and users never end up getting them. But a new page on Apple's website allows former users to uncouple their phone number from their iMessage account at any time, resolving the issue. The tool was developed as more and more complaints of missed messages mounted.
If you're in any way familiar with the state of Iowa, this won't seem like news, but Iowa loves college football. A New York Times study looked at how many people on Facebook in each state like a local football team, and 26% of Iowans like one. That's the 5th highest percentage in the nation. And, except for Nebraska, Iowa led every state with a Big Ten team.
And of course, all of those users are liking the Iowa Hawkeyes, right, Frank?
Oh yeah, that goes without saying, though I wouldn't be so sure after this weekend's Minnesota game.
Yes, the Hawkeyes lost to Minnesota in perhaps their worst game of the year, scoring in at 51-14. Despite this loss, the Hawks still have an opportunity to play in the bowl game. Clocking in with 6 wins and 3 losses so far, the Hawks' performance in the next few games against Illinois, Nebraska, and Wisconsin will determine how far they go.
Right now, the temperature is 55, and that temperature is only going to get lower. Isn't that right, Greta?
Yes, that's right. Today may be the last warm day we get before winter sets in. Tomorrow we can expect the first snowfall, so be sure to bundle up. Tonight temperatures are headed to reach the mid-30s, and tomorrow evening those temps will creep below 30, where we may see some snow.
And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for listening to your KRUI Noon Newscast. I'm Frank Rotella.
And I'm Greta Meyle. Have a great afternoon.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go hiking in Patagonia, ride camels in Morocco, eat sushi in Japan, or learn how to surf in Australia?